Welcome back to Mount Celeste. I'm dear darling, and we'll face our inner demons and reach a summit together. Or in this case, we're going to free this bird. Oh look, we're nearly at 10,000 depths. We just need 3 more, and then we'll get that magical number. What are we doing? I know we're freeing a bird. I haven't played this for a while, and by a while I mean like one day. Oh, but I didn't realise there was a bubble there. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Where we had to somehow figure out how to do this. I don't remember what I did, but I remember whatever I did, I didn't get very far. But did I try this? Did I try dribbling myself on this top one? Because I have a memory that it was very this top one like lagged behind the bottom one by a lot, which was rather inconvenient, I must say. But once we get that figured out, with all that timing done, then we should be good. That's not how you do it. That's exactly not what I wanted to do. So, you know, just like a basketball, which I can't say I was particularly ever that amazing at. Oh wait, I think I told this story, maybe it was on an Animal Crossing episode or something. But I was, for some reason, in one of our house competitions for basketball, despite the fact I wasn't particularly good at it. Why does it keep throwing me into traps? Despite the fact I wasn't particularly good at it, but it was like they needed someone else for it, and then apparently I was okay at it, according to that's not how you do things. My gym class or whatever at the time. But bearing in mind that we had like four levels of gym class, we had like sets 1 to 4. You know, set 1 being the highest of the people who are actually very good at sports and want to participate strongly, and then down to set 4 of the people who just like, you know, whatever. I'm just here so I don't get fined, sort of people. You know, I was in set 3. You know, I wanted to try a little bit, and I was okay. I'm not gonna say I was amazing. I was very good at like athletics, and I was pretty decent at hockey, and okay at basketball in comparison to some people, I suppose, but that's mostly because of my height, I suppose, at that age. I was terrible at football, but something's translated, because I was at very good, not very good, okay, hold on, that's not, I wasn't like national level, I mean like for someone who basically didn't really do sport, I was pretty damn fast at sprinting. Oh, okay, hello, interesting. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. And you know, that kind of transfers to other sort of sports and that sort of thing. Like, if you're good at sprinting, you know, I turned out to be okay at rugby, because I could just like grab the board and then just sprint down past everyone without getting tackled. Which, hold on, I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but there was this one time where, sorry, just me gloating about my, rugby abilities back in year 8, 7. Where we did this thing where the teacher would, we would line up all in a row and something, and the teacher would yell out 2 numbers. The first number would be how many people are on the attacking team, and how many people, and the second number would be how many people on the defending team. So he'd be like 3, 4, whatever. Then the first 3 people run out to the left, and the next 4 people run out to the right, and then he'll give the rugby board to the 3 people, and they have to basically make it down, not the entire like pitch, but like like I don't know, it's short, like 10 meters or maybe it's like 20 meters, I can't remember, and score a try while the other 4 try and stop them or get possession of a ball back or something like that. I don't know, it had a name. I remember because that was probably the only time I've ever like particularly shone in PE class. Or games class, I suppose. PE is a bit different because PE had athletics, and I was okay at athletics, but it just stands out in my memory because it was just a very funny situation where I was like, I have no rugby tactical skill whatsoever. I'll be honest, I didn't even know the rules of rugby except for you can't pass backwards and you can land and try. I didn't even know conversions were a thing. That's something I learnt in university. Not from playing rugby, just like, I can't remember, probably just watched a random YouTube video or something. Yeah, so my tactic was, you know, I'm kind of good at sprinting. I'm just going to take the ball and just like sprint through everyone. And if I just sprint fast enough, because, you know, we're like in year 8. No one in year 8 is that good at tackling, so, or at least if they were, they shouldn't be in group 3. They should be in a higher group, probably. So, no one's particularly good at tackling, so I was just like, I'm just going to sprint through everyone. And then sprint through I did. And I suppose the teacher must have taken note of that point, because it was me and this other classmate. We were an unstoppable duo in this weird like pseudo mini rugby event he was doing. Why don't we just horizontally dash? I feel like that's much easier than doing this vertical dash I'm doing. No. In theory it is, I think. And then, what was I saying? So then it got to a point where every time it was just like me and this classmate would get to the line, he would just be like 2 and then like 6, 2 then 7 and 2 then 8. It was just like us pouring through. Okay, it wasn't quite like that. It was just like, you know, it was like me and him for like 3 and 4, and then delayed it a bit too much. Eventually got singled out to 2 and 7, and then it was just like, all right. The next time I remember, then I stood at the front of the line. He went 1 and 8, and I was like, what? You want me by myself to go face up against 8 defenders? And I was like, alright, I'm just going to employ my usual strategy of no strategy, just run. And I did. I just sprinted through the end. You know, some people tried to tackle me, and then because, you know, we're like, no, think you're right, like 13. No one's particularly good at tackling. No one really wants to commit to it, because we're in the group where, like, we want to think like we're kind of good at sports, but we're not, like, we haven't completely not given up on ourselves, but we haven't completely relegated to the fact that we don't really care about sports at all. So we're going to try a little bit, but we're still not that great. I can't consistently dash in one direction, so I just sprinted for everyone and I scored a try. And then they called me the machine, and that's the end of that story. There's nothing really else to it. It would have been like, oh, maybe you should have tried out for a rugby team or something. No thanks. Rugby's how I dislocated my shoulder, and that caused many problems for me in the future. So, yeah, that never came to be. And also, you know, I think people who are actually, you know, better at rugby probably could deal with my strategy of let's just charge through everyone. I'd probably get knocked off onto my butt very quickly, I'll be honest. But, you know, for that one shining moment, I was like, wow, is this what it feels like to be pretty good at sport? And when I say that, like, I'm not... I wasn't that bad at sport or anything. Like, I was pretty good at badminton up until I had, like, shoulder problems, and then, you know, that became an issue. I was okay at being a sweeper in hockey. I didn't have much dribbling skill, but apparently I could smack a ball very hard. I could stop it. An all-out offense very quickly. But you kind of need more skills than that to be in a sports team, which I probably did not have. And you might be like, hey, didn't you talk about this ages ago that you were kind of good at fencing and archery? Yeah, that was something I did in university for a while. And to be fair, I also did gymnastics when I was much younger, but that's only more due to my flexibility, and also that's about it. I didn't really have a muscular strength for gymnastics that you require later on, but you know, when you're a 6-year-old child, people aren't just going to be like, ooh, how many... You need to develop your muscles already. It's a bit early for that sort of thing, but if you want to, I suppose, by all means, you know, just like that young Hercules boy or whatever, who was like a news story sensation, and I don't know, 10 years ago. What happened to him? I don't know. Maybe he's adult Hercules now. Oh, I didn't hold on right. It's amazing how many times I'm screwing up this bird jump. Yeah, but we didn't. Actually, I actually think we did have a fencing class back in my secondary school, but I didn't participate in it for some reason, which was clearly a bad move because I really liked fencing when I did it in university, and I was like, should have started earlier. Maybe I could have been on a national team. Definitely not, by the way. I don't think I've had that sort of commitment. I don't have a competitive nature required for sports. I think a lot of aspects. You know, I think sports requires a certain not maybe very competitive, but more competitive you are, I feel like you do benefit from it quite a lot. My judgment skills are terrible. Should not be a lawyer. I guess a lawyer isn't one who does a judgment, it's more like a judge who does a judgment. You know, that makes sense, it's kind of in the name, you might say, but, you know, when you're saying these quips off the top of your head, quips is probably a bit of a overly grandiose term for what I'm doing. My inconsistency with dashing in the direction I want to dash is actually coming to bite me back here. This is probably the most costly stage that's ever happened. I thought I could make that bird jump, the jump to the bird. I could not. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that was a fun random day of rugby class. I just find it funny that I didn't actually know the rules of rugby back when... What? What? Is it just I missed a bird? That's a problem? That seemed like a little bit of a iffy one. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. Do we have to dash up through the pink crystal? Maybe that's what we have to do. I don't actually know. I seemed a little bit iffy, to be honest. And I don't mean miffy, but yeah. The bird's not being particularly helpful. I don't know if we can actually reach a bird or not. If I'm meant to reach a bird. Banter stops as I try and figure out what I'm doing. Yeah, no, I find it funny how many times we played sports, but like the sports teacher didn't like properly explain the rules to us. But there's a lot more rules. Like you would have thought, you know, being someone from England and we playing rugby back in school, I'd be like, oh, you know, I perfectly know the rules of rugby. I don't think I did until, I mean, even now I don't perfectly know the rules. I only know sort of vaguely the rules, but I don't think I really did until years after until it had been like at least 6 years after I last played rugby. Oh, I think the bird just isn't there to help you. I think we do have to dash up with a pink crystal to get a double hit. So I'm dashing a bit too late, which is using up one of my pink crystal dashes, which is suboptimal. Yeah, the reason I even know rules of rugby, I think, is because I watched this YouTube video someone made about the rules of rugby. Oh, messed up again. I keep dashing a bit, just a tiny bit. Oh, but that's not how you do it. A tiny bit too late. Might not actually be a tiny bit. Or maybe I'm actually just doing it wrong, but it's hard for me to process that when I haven't properly seen the stage yet. No. Because we played rugby like all the time. And for a lot of the younger years we played tag rugby instead of full contact rugby. For whatever reason, but didn't really know the rules. Which is even weirder because like rugby is like, I think we played probably 15 aside, and that seems about right. So we had like scrums and things, except for we got taught exactly what a scrum is, but we don't get taught like how a scrum happens or anything like that. I don't even know how a scrum happens or what you're really meant to do in a scrum. You know what? Maybe I'm meant to continue bouncing on the top one, hit this on the right side, then use a springboard down to get the hit on the left side. That seems reasonable. Get a hit in early. Or something along those lines. Yeah, I think we're meant to get a hit in on the left side and then go down and get the hit in on the right side to get our 2 hits in. That seems fair. I didn't consider that until just now, if it wasn't evident enough. Yeah, but like, also there's like a ruck, which I think doesn't happen in 15 aside rugby. It only happens in like 7 aside rugby. I don't really know the difference between them, to be honest. No, it's a falling platform. It's a falling platform. Oh no. Oh, you know, someone, I can't remember your name off the top of my head. I think it starts with a C, and you got that. You got a pink-haired animal girl as a profile picture. Has been leaving helpful comments about the wave dash thing. What did they say? It was like you hold down and right. And you jump and dash at the same time. I immediately forgot it. Or is it like you? That seems right. You dash and you gotta dash and then hold out on your jump until the dash recovers or something. I did it for a second then. Perhaps I shouldn't rely on that because I can't do it particularly consistently. That you need a wave dash for, but I just didn't think about it. That went surprisingly well for how poorly that first wave, not the first wave dash, but one of the wave dashes went. Yeah, I said I'd do my best to try and remember what they told me, except for I can't. So much of that. You might be like, why didn't you just go look up that comment and, you know, put what they said into practice? I could. Or I could just, you know, continuously bash my head against the wall and see how well that goes for me. You might say, how well is that going for you? Probably not great, but that's not how you do it. I'm just, you know, sort of vibing with it. Oh. I mean, I think the bigger problem is my mechanical hand-eye coordination. My finger dexterity to actually execute upon what I want to execute upon. What was that? Did I just not jump? I might not have jumped. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I remember one time we played volleyball, but the teacher, like, didn't explain to us what the rules of volleyball were. So the only reason I knew, well, I didn't even know, like, the rules of, like, team volleyball. I only knew beach volleyball. And you might say, how do you know beach volleyball but not normal volleyball rules? I know beach volleyball because of a fantastic game called the Ham Olympics, which was a Hamtaro-based Olympic Games, one of the 4, like, Hamtaro games that actually came out for the Game Boy. And I owned 3 of them. Completely based around the Olympics because of, I don't even know. I don't know why they had Olympic Games. Were they held in Japan at one point? Not like this year, like, but this was, let me think, I must have been like 16 years ago? There's no way they were held in Japan that recently. Probably. Maybe it is better for me to land there. And do a wave dash off. Is that how I did it the first time? No, my word. I can't. I don't know how I managed to do it that one time. I don't know why my wave dash is being so weird on that block as well. I feel like I'm not doing it from that high up. Maybe I am. Uh-oh. Yeah, so I knew the concept of you had to do a dig, set, spike. Is that a sort of thing? Except for I don't think any of us knew how to spike because they didn't really teach us. And also, you know in volleyball, the fact that I mean, if you play volleyball, you'll absolutely know. But like, I didn't know and didn't really conceptualize. There's a rule where like you all had to rotate positions or something on your side of a court. Like you have 6 players on each side, and then you're meant to. What is going on with my dasher? Am I not hitting jump? I must not be hitting jump. Or something. You're meant to like rotate all 6 players on your side. Except for like the libero, except for we didn't play with a libero. I gotta figure out what was weight. There's some way to do it. They said that you could just do it from the ground. Yeah, but that's how. Except for I don't have a good sense of rhythm down. Okay, earlier than that. Later than that. Something like that. Maybe I should just stick with stuff I know. And apparently I don't even know that well. But yeah, you're meant to like rotate all your 6 players around in different positions on volleyball, except for the libero, who only rotates between the back 3 positions or something. It's like, whoa, weird. And you might be like, why is libero even like a position in volleyball? I don't know, to be honest. I assume it's because since the libero is not allowed to set or spike things, but so I guess that sort of opens up a position that, rather than height being the only major advantage in volleyball, like you want a team of the 6 tallest players, you can allow people who are shorter in nature, but you know also still technically skilled in volleyball to also. No, I wasn't holding on to it. That was amazing. That felt smooth. That felt like a dance. But I think it allows people who are shorter to also like be part of the volleyball team or something. I don't know if that's true because I swear I read somewhere that the libero was not like, it wasn't like always in volleyball. It was added like later on or something. If you're a volleyball like expert, you might just be listening to what I'm saying and cringing, and I apologise. I don't mean to spread false information, and I'd recommend everyone go look up the facts and double fact check me before taking what I say at face value. I think I'm not dashing correctly. I think what happened there was I just dashed straight down. Okay, there I wasn't close enough to the ground. I don't know what's going on there. That looked to me like I diagonally dashed down, but I mean that one obviously I didn't, but no. I missed the platform. This is a cool screen. This feels like once I actually get it, it's gonna be so smooth and so awesome, and definitely not, you know, just randomly thrown together attempts. Or like a speedrun of this particular screen probably looks so awesome, and yet you're stuck here watching. Well, you're not really stuck here. I guess you can kind of do whatever you want, but if you're invested in watching me completely fail how to clear the screen over and over again. Hey. Someone needs to do like a running tally of how many times I mean to do like a wave dash downwards, and then I just dash immediately horizontally to the right. Oh no. As soon as I did it, I was like, I'm too close to the ground. Yeah, but we played volleyball like only once ever in PE, which is weird because volleyball is actually really fun. Well, I shouldn't say it is fun because I don't know, I haven't played it since, and I can't really play it because I have shoulder problems, sort of. It looks like a really fun sort of sport, and I'm sure it's like, I know it's much more popular in Japan now recently in high school era because of the anime Haikyuu, which I've never seen, but you know, apparently it's pretty cool. It looks like a fun sport. Oh man, fast paced, you know, fast paced, team based gameplay. Whether you're short or tall, you can play. That's what it's all about, you know. It's what you love to see in a game. But we only played it like once, and we didn't even play it properly because I still don't really know the rules except for, you know, dig, set, spike. You have to hit it like at least twice or something on your side, but up to 3 times or something, and then you can block. I don't really know what that's about. Don't know the rules, but there's this wild clip. I don't know if it was from this Olympics or not, of someone from volleyball, like they hit the ball. No, wait, hold on, I'm trying to think. Their team went for a dig off like a wild rebound or something, and it hit the ball like out of a court onto the opponent's side, but it didn't, but like outside the range of a net, like outside the width of a net or something. Apparently that's still like in play or something if the next person who hits it on their team hits it back to their side of a court, but like it has to be still outside the width of a net or something. So it's just this guy just like ducking under the net, sprinting to the opponent's side, and then getting another dig / return in to set his team up for a point. And it's probably like the most absurd thing you've ever seen, and I'm like, wow, volleyball's cool, you know. Oh, add that to the counter. Whoosh. That's a new one. I dashed vertically downwards instead of diagonally. Yeah, I don't know, because especially in our school, like we played like the same 4 sports over and over again. We always did football, hockey, rugby, and something else. Hold on, basketball. Those are mandatory, and then those are in a class we called games. And then we had what the heck? Did I just do a wall kick? I didn't mean to do that. And then we had PE, which did other things, where we did badminton, table tennis, and then athletics in the summer. We must have done something else as well, but I can't remember. Oh, we did gymnastics at one point. That was interesting. Because, you know, like most of us didn't have gymnastics experience, and even my gymnastics experience wasn't like that rigorous. It's not like I went to a gymnastics camp or anything. It was just like an after school sort of club for very basic gymnastics level, run by some I've got to assume he was an gymnastics coach or something. But he made it fun rather than like we were training for gymnastics. Like we didn't use the vault or anything like that. We used a trampoline, and we did some very simple things. We did a straddle jump, we did a pike jump, we did a tuck and half twist. Like I can't remember what it's called. Like we didn't do any flips or anything like that. It wasn't that hardcore. We had the floor stuff where what did we do? We did like cartwheels, round offs, which is kind of like a cartwheel, except for not really. It's like you do a 180 twist in there, I suppose. If I recall, it's been a while. I don't remember. We did a bit of headstands, handstands. We did a bit of rope climbing, which seems a bit strange. It doesn't really seem like it's a gymnastics ability. It seems like something you might do in the military, but not that I'm just like disparaging the usefulness of it. It was just it's a bit weird to do in a gymnastics class. Okay, my thumb keeps slipping off a thumbstick. The control stick, that's causing me many issues. Trying to think what else we did. We had like this like this isn't even a gymnastics event as far as well, not in the Olympics. I mean, it might be another ones, but it was like a trampoline, but it was like a really long trampoline. So you're meant to bounce along it and like do tricks along the way, I suppose. It's like called long. It's not called long trampoline. It's a very dumb name. What am I doing? What am I doing? Wait, I think we had a balance beam, but we didn't like do any tricks on it or anything. We didn't teach us how to do like front flips or whatever on the swings. We just did it for fun. I mean, to be fair, we're pretty young, but don't most gymnasts start pretty young, right? And anyway, I probably wouldn't have cut it out as a artistic gymnast anyway. You don't have to be quite short, but most of them are quite short, so they can get more like rotations or something in, right? I'm quite tall. So that would have dashed my dreams if I ever wanted to be a gymnast. But one thing I had going for me back then was I was very flexible. So I could do the split despite the fact I'd never like properly learned how to, or even stretch to do the splits. It was just like because I was so randomly flexible. That's not how you do that dash. Oh, we had like very low parallel bars, I remember that. Except for we didn't actually use them as like parallel bars. We also had uneven bars as well, and I think we had all this gymnastics equipment, but we didn't use them properly. It's just weird, isn't it? Oh my word. We had like a big floor, we didn't do floor routines or anything. We're learning how to do a candle. And now I think about it, I have this memory that there were actually like these gymnastic grade things that you could do, except for we didn't do them. We only did them like sometimes. And I think I got like a gymnastics grade something. Like the lowest one, and I remember one of the requirements was like to hold a candle for like 30 seconds or something. I remember me just vibing with a load of my friends. Alone, there's like 2 of them, but just on the floor, just like holding a candle. I remember us going like, oh, it's so easy. Did I just get a text message? Wait, YouTube notification? Whoa. Close that. Deal with that later. Deal with sounds like it's a bad thing. It's not really a deal sort of situation. What am I doing? So basically, I'm not sure if I actually did gymnastics or not, despite the fact it was called gymnastics class. Like, if you were like, can you do a cartwheel? I'm like, yeah, I can do a cartwheel. Can you do a headstand? Probably. Can I do a handstand? Yeah. Can I do it unsupported? I haven't done that for a while, but maybe I could. But it's like, can you do like a front flip on a trampoline? Maybe. Can you do like a gymnastics floor routine? No. I have no idea how to do that. I mean, I could just continuously do a cartwheel, I suppose, over and over again and be like, ooh, look at that. But not that it matters. Why aren't rhythmic gymnastics more of a thing? Like, why are they a women-only sport? Why do we not have men doing rhythmic gymnastics as well, you know? I know apparently it's a thing in Japan, from what I looked up. Because I didn't realise, apparently, for artistic gymnastics you want to be short. For rhythmic gymnastics, apparently being tall is preferable. Maybe that could have been my calling. I'd be like, oh, you know, I can do all this gymnastic stuff, but I'm too tall. What do I do? Oh, I become a rhythmic gymnast instead. I mean, I don't mean to be like, oh, it's so easy, just become a rhythmic gymnast. Like, oh, it's a second-rate sort of job professional, job aspirations. No, that's not what I mean. You're putting words into my mouth. Well, technically I'm putting words into my mouth, but I'm putting them as you, as a strawman. So not necessarily you, because you're probably not a strawman. Whoa, that was really cool. I gotta say, my thumb is like slipping off from holding the joystick right too much, which is not great, you know, for like performance standards and that sort of thing. Rhythmic gymnastics is cool, by the way. That's why I think we should more of it. Like I was reading about it, you know, I can't remember, probably when the Olympics happened. I don't remember why. We've got like a load of different equipment to use, you know. We've got the orb, the hoop, the clubs, the ribbon, and a rope, which is strange because I've never seen the rope actually like be used in rhythmic gymnastics. Gymnastics is always a first of all. And we have like it's like a rhythmic gymnastics committee or something decide like which of the objects are going to be used in each competition, and then they decide which combination of those 5 objects will be used in the group one. And in Tokyo, I can't remember what it was in Tokyo. In Tokyo, was it like 2 sets of clubs, 3 hoops, or something like that? I want to see something like 2 clubs, 3 balls, you know? If it could play like baseball or something. Hit. Oh no, maybe it was ribbon. It might have been 3 ribbons, 2 hoops. That sounds about right. I don't know. You can do cool stuff with that. There's some crazy combinations. What the heck would like 2 balls, 3 ribbons look like, you know? But they should change it up every year. You know, the meta always changing. You'd be like, oh, Russia's coming in. Russia's, you know, fantastically well known for the ribbon control. But you know, this year it's a 3 ball, 2 clubs year. Maybe it's time for Team America or something. Team China. I'm trying to think of good gymnastic countries to take it. I've no idea. I've no idea about any sort of meta in rhythmic gymnastics. I know. I just think the idea of a meta even existing in a sport, well, not in a sport, but like in something like rhythmic gymnastics is, I don't want to say amusing. That sounds very belittling, but intriguing, I suppose. I suppose it gives a lot more depth to that sort of competition than I realised. I wonder how you decide which equipment like you'll be like performing with. They have like 2 variations. They have one where like, they all use the same one, which I can't remember what, I think it was ribbon this year in Tokyo, wasn't it? I tried. I was like, you know, I don't know my jump. Is it do or die? Gotta learn how to do this standing wave dash. And I didn't. Oh my god, it's been half an hour. I didn't realise. Okay, final attempt, and then we'll. Okay, one more attempt after this, and then we'll round off this episode for today. Did we make good progress? I don't know. How many levels did I even do? Okay, well, apparently I'm just terrible. But yeah, no, rhythmic gymnastics, pretty cool stuff, huh? So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Celeste. I've been Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join Video Live in Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope you can see each other again. Proper now. So farewell. So until next time. Bye bye for now.